Jesus' 40 days in the desert are sometimes remembered as his wilderness experience, and that's something that Daniel Habte has quite literally lived through.
I came from Eritrea, East Africa. There is no freedom of politics, freedom of religion. Many Christians have been persecuted, and about 2,000 people are currently arrested because of their religion. In 2002, the church was closed officially. So I decided, in order to exercise my faith, in order to live a good life, I have to leave my country. And I decided to go to Sudan on foot for 3 days, and then from Sudan to Libya through the Sahara Desert, for about 15 days more.
Did you travel alone?
No, my wife and my child, she was 6 months old. And we were about 34 people as well, in a very small Toyota Hilux pickup.
What was the worst time?
The experience of the desert was very, very tough. I remember at one time we were run out of water and we have to walk and search for water. And I was worried, for my wife and for my child. But finally, we went to a bush, and then we find some reservoir. And it's very dirty, it's not clean, but there is no choice. And that was the toughest time for me. It reminds me when Jesus was, tempted in the wilderness, and God was, sending out a song, even though passing through such a difficult situation.
And when you finally emerged from the desert, were you in a safe situation at last?
Not really. As soon as we have arrived, we were caught up by Libyan government and the military. They just caught up and they just put us in a prison. After 4 days, they just released me because of my baby. Sometimes look in the situation, it doesn't help you. But trust in the Lord and believe in the promises can give you life.
One of the most popular British films in recent years has been Calendar Girls. It was based on the true story of some members of the Women's Institute in the Yorkshire Dales. The story began in February 1998 when Angela Baker's husband, John, was diagnosed with cancer.
John had been such a healthy person, and then suddenly it was just bang, and he was in hospital. and really stayed there for 5 months until he died.
A lot of people going through what you'd been through would want to withdraw, but you not only took a lot on, you took quite a lot off too, didn't you?
We did, Pam, yeah. But John knew about the calendar, and he was going to come along and watch us have our photographs taken, but he wasn't well enough to do that. We told him what month we were going to be and what craft we were going to be doing, and he just laughed and said, "You'll never do it."
Was it a surprise then that it really took on a life of its own?
It was a big surprise. We had no idea what was going to happen. We were so naive. And we thought, who's going to buy them? Who on earth would want a calendar of middle-aged women with no clothes on? But you see, they did.
So obviously it was becoming more and more of a success, but you would have been still dealing with your grief.
I was. It was really, really hard. At the end of doing something really good, and we'd had a lovely day, of course, when we got off the train or the bus or anything, all the other husbands were waiting for their wives, and mine wasn't there. My world had ended. I would have been lost if I hadn't done the calendar. You just felt as though you were doing something for somebody else. Our aim was to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma research, and we have. We've raised £4 million.
Do you see any parallel with Lent in what you've been through?
Lent, everyone thinks that it's a time that you give something up, isn't it? Something that you really like. I mean, for years and years and years, I gave crisps up. and on Easter Sunday, I used to sit up in bed and eat a packet of crisps. But it's also a challenging time, isn't it? And I think that sometimes instead of giving something up, you should take something on. Doing the calendar, for me, was my Lent, really. It was my challenge.
How important has your own faith been to you through all of this?
My faith is very strong. But when John was ill, the local church that we went to, they had prayer meetings every morning for John. And I felt sure, that he would get better. And then when he died, I felt so angry. And I thought, well, what was the use of all these prayers? But then, of course, down the line, I realised that the prayers were there for us all. And couldn't have done without them.